Hi, I'm Dani Gasparini, and welcome to this segment of Penn Voice. I am joined today by Dr. Monica Rudiger, who is the founder of 9 Lives Foundation. Dr. Rudiger, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So 9 Lives Foundation, I think we can sort of figure out what this might be about, but tell us a little bit about the organization and why you came about founding it.
Absolutely. So I started the 9 Lives Foundation when I was working as a doctor at another animal shelter. And I was kind of shocked on my first day to learn how many animals go into the shelters but never make it out. And the number one reason that animals don't make it out, especially cats, is because they have injuries or skin conditions, or they're hissy or spitty, or, you know, they're just not socially...
Right, so when people want to adopt them, they're not thinking of the one that have special needs, they're thinking of the cute gray kitty with the blue eyes.
Right, they come in and they're scared and they don't know where they are and they don't act appropriately, and they're deemed unadoptable. Or the cats have a lot of upper respiratory, so they sneeze, or they have runny eyes, and very, very common ailments in cats. Those are all the cats that never make it out of the shelter. Those are the cats that are euthanized. And so when I was working at the Humane Society, I thought, well, why are these cats who could be easily treated not treated and then put up for adoption? So that kind of inspired me to start my own foundation and take those cats that are deemed unadoptable, not healthy enough for adoption, make them healthy, and then put them up for adoption.
And it sounds like you have some great expertise in being able to help these cats, right?
Right. Well,
and kittens.
It's just years and years of experience and seeing these illnesses and realizing that in cats, they can look extremely, extremely ill, and a few days of antibiotics and fluids, and they are absolutely brand new. So I've just learned to sort of go with it, put everything I have into it, and usually I have, you know, a 90% success rate getting my injured and ill cats healthy enough to be adopted.
So when you talk to folks and they're looking for to adopt a cat, whether it's a kitten or an elderly cat, how do you re-educate them about some of the cats or kittens that have some of these a little bit more complex issues, but are very solvable?
Right. I think it's just a matter, like you said, it's a matter of education. A lot of people are unaware that the simplest defects can cause an animal its life in a shelter. And so we try to teach people to be patient, you know, let us provide the medications that they need to get them through. Or if they have a special need, if they have 3 legs, let's say, hey, you know, cats can walk around on 3 legs just as well as 4, they'll be fine. Or 1 eye, or, you know, there are a lot of defects. We wouldn't sell a human, you know, or send a human out to pasture for an ailment like that. So why are we doing that for cats and dogs? And so in my case, it's just cats, but we really try to look at each cat as an individual. Every cat gets a chance. It doesn't matter. If it had a bad circumstance, it came in injured, that's not the cat's fault. It's our job to put the cat back together as well as we can, find a home for it, and then put it safely in, you know, someone's environment to take care of it.
So obviously anybody who's watching this program today, if they're interested in contacting you, because they are interested in adopting a cat, to contact you first, because you may very well have the perfect situation.
I think we have a cat for everyone,
right?
You know, and
I think, how do then the cats or kittens come to you? How do you find?
So we're kind of in a unique situation. We're the last resort for a lot of these cats, and having worked at a few humane societies in past years before I started 9 Lives, I have a really good reputation and connection with other animal organizations. So when they have an animal, a cat that needs some help, that they aren't allowed to put up for adoption because it's deemed unadoptable by their organization, they'll call me and say, hey, we have a cat who has a fractured leg, can you take it? And we will take it, we'll amputate, or we'll treat the leg, and then we'll put the cat up for adoption. So they come to us. I mean, we don't even have to go looking.
Right.
On a weekly basis, we'll have emails with 50 or 100 cats that need help. And it's really sad to think that there are very few organizations like us. In fact, I think we're the only one, at least in Northern California, that will take the less than perfect cats.
Right.
But yeah, I have requests almost every day, FELV positive, FIV positive, old cats, kidney failure cats, injured cats, blind cats. You name it, we have it. But you know, and it doesn't mean that they're always going to be sick and injured. We get them as well as we possibly can.
Right.
And we'll provide the medical care for them if they have a pre-existing condition for their lifetime.
I'm so excited that the sort of regular adoption, or when cats and dogs are found or they're stray, that there is a place like 9 Lives that they can partner with to ensure that all animals are given such a wonderful extension of life, because we hear that word no kill all of the time, and we know that that's a misnomer in many circumstances.
So a lot of people don't even understand what no kill means. No kill, by definition, means that we're not going to take healthy adoptable animals and euthanize them to make space for other healthy adoptable animals.
And that's where it stops, right?
Right. But for me, when I started 9 Lives as a no-kill shelter, I wanted to give all cats a chance, whether they were healthy or not. You know, I don't want to have a checklist and go down it and say, well, you didn't meet this criteria and that criteria, therefore you need to die today. I think everyone deserves a chance. And, you know, there will be cats that we can't solve their medical issues, but we're certainly going to try. We'll give it everything we have, and I would say
both on the medical and behavioral side.
Behaviorally, absolutely. And if they're too crazy feral and they don't want to live inside, we'll find them a barn home, and we're going to find a situation for every cat. And I think, having founded it myself, I've been able to make up my own rules and decide what I am and what I am and not willing to take. And there's really almost nothing that I'm not willing to try to take. So
and so give us some stories at the end of the day. You have a family that's adopted, perhaps maybe was a little bit hesitant, but you've brought the cat back to health. And tell us a little bit about what the families say once they bring the cat home.
You know, the most interesting families are those that take, say, our 3-legged or our blind cats. You know, some of them are a little hesitant, and they don't want their children to have to deal with, you know, a disabled cat. But what we find later is that a lot of families say, this was the best experience for my family, because they understood that they have to make allowances, that it's okay to be different, that disabilities are not scary, that it's still the same cat. He just is missing his right leg or his left leg or his, you know, whatever. He's missing an eye. Well, he still has one good eye, so, or maybe he's blind altogether. And it teaches people really how to get into their inner soul and just really care for an animal the way they probably didn't think they could.
So how do people now find you? I mean, what do they do in order to say, I'd love to adopt one of your cats, or volunteer or donate?
Well, you know, a lot of our followers are spreading the word. It's a lot of word of mouth referrals. We adopt out about 1,200, 1,400 cats a year. And so those happy families tell other happy families, and they do the same. And we have a lot of community outreach. A lot of students come and volunteer for their high school hours. We do a lot of fostering. Foster parents often will fail and keep their foster kittens, which we love, but we always laugh and call them failures when they take a litter and then they end up keeping some of them. But you know, I think we try to provide an experience for everyone. If you can't own a cat for a long time, we can let them foster for a month or two. Or they want their kids to experience kittens, we give them a litter of kittens to see from, you know, day 1 all the way up into 8 weeks. You know, experience that whole transition of kittens from nursing to weaning to, you know, independence. So
now, do you just do the adoption services, or do you have clinics that you help take care of the cats post-adoption?
Well, we don't have a veterinary clinic for the public, but we do offer vaccination clinics for the public, and we are very focused on low-cost spay-neuter, because truthfully, if we're not helping to prevent kittens from being born and ending up in shelters, we're not really solving the problem. We can rescue cats from shelters all day long, but if we don't help break that cycle of overpopulation, we really haven't accomplished anything. So one of our buildings has the no-kill shelter in it. That's the one on Rollison Road in Redwood City. And we've just recently opened a low-cost spay-neuter clinic in Redwood City up near Emerald Hills on Jefferson Avenue. And we do spay-neuter 5 days a week. We don't require appointments, and we try to keep our fees extremely low so that every family, regardless of their financial ability, can pay and can have this important surgery done. You know, we don't need any more kittens born unintentionally, because unfortunately they end up in the shelter system, and then the cycle starts over.
All over again.
So the shelters can't handle the number of kittens that are born. It's not the shelter's fault when they were overcrowded. It's not their fault if they can't put everyone up for adoption, because it has to start with with the people who have the cats
Right.
that allow them to have the kittens. So we really try to add value in the community by providing spay-neuter.
So Monica, you have an important event coming up on January 14th. Tell us about that.
We do. We are we're hosting a benefit concert, and Smashmouth has agreed to play for us to raise money for our shelter rejuvenation project. We've been given the opportunity to use the Fox Theater in Redwood City. And we're going to have a wonderful evening with the Bell Brothers and Smashmouth playing, all to raise money for 9 Lives, so we can rebuild our shelter.
So how can people find tickets?
So they go directly to the Fox website and foxrwc.com to buy tickets. And we have a few opportunities. We have a pre-party with dinner, but you have a ticket for other dance party as well on the first floor, and then upper level seats for those that just want to sit and enjoy the concert and not get too into the dancing down below. But it's really hard to stop dancing when you hear Smashmouth.
Right,
So
it truly is.
Very family-friendly event, all for the cats. 100% of the proceeds go to
Will
the
you
9
have
Lives.
some cats there?
I don't think we're allowed to have any cats, but we're going to have a very nice presentation about our shelter, about what we hope to do in the future with this money, and all of the money we raise will go to our shelter rejuvenation. We're planning a beautiful remodel, so all to make the cats' experience when they're at 9 Lives the best it can possibly be. So we hope everyone will join us. I think this is Smashmouth's only Northern California appearance, so we're really fortunate to have them play for us.
And you know, one of the things that we forgot to do or forgot to talk about was Smurf and Wanda.
Oh, yes.
You have to give us an update on the purple cat.
So most people remember, but they may not know they remember, the purple cat that we rescued last year. We were presented with a kitten in a box, as we always are, from another shelter, and we opened it up and we found a cat who was saturated in purple dye and had sustained about 20 bite wounds and open wounds all over his little body, and he was less than 2 pounds. So that's just a typical example of what we do. We save cats. They're not always purple, thank goodness, but this story went viral, and suddenly the world sort of became aware of the plight of little kittens who are left out there to fend for themselves when people are doing evil things to them, and also the plight of kittens in animal shelters who are injured. So it brought attention to the fact that 9 Lives takes cats just like that, Smurf and another cat named Wanda, and we did everything we could. We completely rehabilitated him. He's no longer purple, and he and his partner Wanda live in a beautiful home in the North Bay. So it all worked out beautifully for them, and that's what 9 Lives does. That's why we're here.
Well, next time you come, we'll see if we can get pictures
Absolutely.
of Smurf and Wanda back up on the cover.
Absolutely. Yes,
Thank you,
thank
Monica,
you.
for joining us.
You're welcome.
We'll see you next time
Thank you.
on Penn Voice.